Forte, and today I want to talk to you about how to sing the Star Spangled Banner. It seems like everybody wants to be able to do the Star Spangled Banner. It's one of the most difficult songs that there is to sing. And so today we're going to talk about, for those of you that want to go audition for your basketball games or football games or all sorts of places that you can go to sing that song, and you really want to be able to belt it out, add lots of riffs, pretty it up, do all of that kind of thing. So this one is going to be for you. So we're going to do it in a lower key because you have to be able to pick a key that you can really kind of belt out the high notes, but you still have to be able to hit the lows. So if you're looking for a higher key and wanting to do something higher, I've got another video out there for those of you that want to go up into the rafters of Land of the Free and just make it nice and pretty. We've got a whole other video for that. But for those of you that really want to be able to belt that out, you've got to pick a key where you can do that. Now, that does not mean that it will be all chest. So the first thing you really have to work on if you want to be able to belt is mixing your chest and head and having a better mix between that, because if you're trying to get it all up from here, some songs like the Star Spangled Banner just have such a big range that it's pretty difficult to do. Not that it's impossible, but it's pretty difficult to do for a lot of people. You're going to run into the problem where you can't belt as high as you need to be able to actually hit the low notes. So first of all, pick the right key. For me right now, we're going to use G flat. Oh, say, because it's about, this is another little note, it's about as low as I can go. I can almost always belt the D flat. I cannot always belt the D. So if I put it in G, oh, say, then my rocket's red glare ends up being a little bit more of a head mixy than it being a chest mixy, and that's not always what I want. So I go as low as I can where I know I can pretty much always give me a rocket's red glare. See, but not always, because I've been talking for a while now. So it's not always going to work. I'd be better off in F, where I know I can always do it. But that's all right. We're going to make it work. Because see, sometimes you're also going to figure out, what do I do when that wants to squeak a little bit, or what it wants to not quite do exactly what I want it to do? How we fix that? So pick the right key, and then really work again on that being able to kind of mix. The best way that I know to do that is to do a super forward resonance. You want to really think about this being here, and having that still nice and open. Lots of space in your mouth, and really have that. But you want a big forward, and with that, the tongue is really relaxed. So if you're pulling back, especially on Land of the Free, we tend to, and our tongue goes back. You have to really think about pushing that tongue forward and think about relaxing that in the back so that you get this I want that kind of a sound. I know that sounds like super honky, but when we get into rockets red glare, then you're going to be able to do it, and it's actually going to have staying power if you can kind of focus it into that. So that's really what you want to do. I would work that lower, work yourself up into it, give yourself some things on this you don't necessarily have to hit all the time. Then start to put the words in. Rockets red glare. Make it a little more nasally than you want it to be, so that when you just really kind of get into it and you can start to do that, and then you can pretty it up a little bit. Rockets red glare. The way to pretty it up is add more space. So right, I just went from doing rockets red glare, where it's all like super nasally and right in there. I keep the forward resonance, but I just add more space in the back. So one way to do that is just think about a yawn when you breathe in. and then go, rockets, red glare. My glare is actually still that forward, but I've got more space in the back so it sounds bigger. The other thing that you want to really think about is a lot of times people want to like riff it up and do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So I've got a couple tips for that. One, don't overuse it. And I'm the queen of doing this too. I have it's not really even a riff. I don't riff. I trill. I have a trill in my voice that naturally occurs. So I could do it all over the place. Oh, say, can you see? Right? I'm just going to roll that up. By the dawn's early light. It's that one. Dawn's early light. But if I do it all over the place, it means nothing. Okay? So pick and choose. Really make sure that you have a purpose behind your riff. It's not just to make it sound cool that, oh, look at all the things that I can do. Really put some meaning behind it. You want to ornament the words that you want to emphasize. So think about what's the line that means the most to you? What's the thing that means something to you? And pick something to do on that. The other thing is you have to be relaxed about it. If you're trying too hard, it's not going to come out right, or it's going to come out like you're trying too hard, honestly. Same thing with if you're just imitating somebody. If you're trying to replicate and do exactly what they have done because you heard that and it sounded really cool. Not to say that we can't do some of those things and like, oh, that's great and I've picked that up, but it should still feel natural to you. So a fun little thing with that is find people that riff like you. So find people that naturally have in their voice the same kinds of things that you do. You kind of want it to be, I had somebody one time, which this is amazing. I don't really consider myself a great riffer. If you want a great riffer, Natalie Weiss. Natalie Weiss is an amazing riffer. She's got a thing called Breaking Down the Riffs, and she can teach you how to riff way better than I can. I do naturally have a similar riff. She's way better than I am, and she still does things that I can't do. But it's somewhat similar. It's similar enough that I can fake it. Really. And I had somebody, I was singing a song, and I had somebody who I was like, well, what if you take this part and you did it? And she goes, I don't even know what you're doing up there. Because I was doing some little ornamentation. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing either. It just, that's kind of what comes out. You want riffs to feel like that. You want it to feel like that's just kind of what comes out. So there's this fine balance between I planned it, I know what ones I want to emphasize, I have a purpose behind the riff, and I just kind of let it come out. There are some ways and some specific warm-ups and things that you can do to help yourself build this agility. So find those. I'll do some videos on that and stuff like that. So I feel like the place that people want to ornament the most is those high, big, belty notes. And in truth, for most of us, that's not the easiest place to do it. So pick your level and see. And a lot of times do what's necessary for you as well as what you think is going to work. Be the most cool, but it's only cool if you can actually do it. So make your rockets red glare big and strong, and then ornament somewhere else. So ornament somewhere on the lows. So for instance, I would do rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air. If you can hit air and you can trill on it, it's only up to the same place that glare was. So keep that, you're going to the same place. So instead of trying to do something cool on glare, do it on air where you're one step lower. So rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air. So I only went up to the thing, to the note that I was on before. Give proof through the would do it when I'm lower. That our flag was still there. Also, don't dismiss just simple stair steps. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Right? I'm not doing massive major things, so let that just kind of be really natural, but moving. Think about just making it move, and every so often you go back around. So that's my little tip on kind of how to belt that out a little bit. And if you have specific questions, ask me in the comments, and maybe I'll make another video. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you can let me know in the comments or ask any questions that you have. Subscribe to my channel and get videos delivered direct to your email. You can also support me on Patreon. Happy singing!